grapples with challenges ranging from youth unemployment and the rising cost of living to concerns over service delivery. Questions remain about whether the president's message at the State of the Nation address tackled the issues that matter most to ordinary citizens. Joining me in studio this evening is Shamim Nambasa, the woman LC5 Councillor for Kawempe South, to share her reaction to the address and discuss what it means for women, young people, and the country's future. Thank you for joining me this evening, Nambasa.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you on a day when the president just had the State of the Nation address.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
As a leader,
yeah.
Do you think today's address tackled the issues that are pressing Ugandans when you look at the president saying that, why do we have brain drain? So
Yeah.
do you think the address tackled issues concerning the youth, particularly unemployment?
First and foremost, it's unfortunate, and I think for most Ugandans, we've lost hope that we don't even watch the State of the Nation address anymore. Myself, I don't actually watch anymore. I only watched it today because I was told I have to come and make a reaction to it. But most importantly, when I got the soft copy, I made a simple search. I searched for the word youth, and I didn't see it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's he spoke over 1 million words and didn't mention youth anywhere. But most importantly, it's important for us to note that youth make up over 79% of the entire population. So for someone in, the person who is meant to be president to come and address the nation, giving us an accountability of the past 1 year without talking about the biggest stakeholders in the nation, it raises a lot of questions. So many young people are unemployed. So many young people have dropped out of school. So many young people have been evicted from the streets. Most of them were street vendors. So many young people, on an annual basis, we have over 1 million young people turning 18. So the numbers are increasing on a very high rate, but we do not have answers. We expected answers to be coming from someone who is occupying the office of presidency. For someone who has just renewed their tenure in office, we expected promises, at least to speak the least. We expected an accountability of what it is that they have done for young people. So as a young person, I feel very disadvantaged, very discouraged, and very disappointed in today's State of the Nation address. Maybe we're going to have other addresses. Maybe he's going to have episodes, because for this particular one, he only talked about agriculture.
It's good to know that you have hope of having episodes. But before we delve deeper, before we delve deeper into any other episode that will come, we're currently seeing Uganda at the verge of struggling with the cost of living, rising price of commodities, rising prices of fuel. Nothing was mentioned, not even.
So
what
sad,
is your take on
and for me, actually, when we talk about even that, because what we expected was for him to talk about what has been there in the previous year and tell us what is the plan for the coming year. We are in a current fuel crisis, and he's remembered to have told us that if you cannot afford the fuel, then stay home. So in a nation where we are right now, with the increasing cost of living, because I think from the census that was done, the most recent census, it was found out that we have a deficit. We have over 4.1 million people that lack housing units. We need over 4.1 million housing units to fix something like that. So we are facing an issue where we have unemployment, but then also at the same time, the cost of living is increasing on a daily basis. But unfortunately, we are even having more taxes that are being imposed on, a few items that can be accessed by these particular poor people. So we expected answers, and we've been left with more questions than actually answers from this particular.
And then something
State of the Nation
triggers
address.
me when you talk about the housing deficit.
Here
we have it clearly outstanding, and then we are having demolitions of houses.
True.
We have had the whole of last week and this week. We have seen them move from the BG. We have seen them move to Kawala. We have seen them. So it's quite disturbing that you see mothers struggling and asking. And then we saw the Prime Minister coming in and giving them 1 million shillings each for porridge, actually, quote unquote. So we would like to understand, as a leader to some of these people who have been evicted in this current place where they are, what was your thought when you heard of the State of the Nation address?
Like I have said, we expected a lot from this particular State of the Nation address. There are key factors that we expected to be addressed. And for me, that only goes to show the detachment that the current president has with what is actually on ground. I was hearing, I think maybe for us that are young, we're getting to hear from the Museveni of 1986. I think we are now understanding, because from the speech, it seemed as though he's just starting. It seemed as though he has not been in the country to actually see what is happening. When you talk about the current demolitions that are happening, you know, some in Kawala Road, my people of Waise have been calling me, Busabala, different areas, with the deficit that we have already with the housing units, and to see that this is actually happening, because most of these people, their homes were broken down without any, you know, restoration orders. They were not noticed.
And some also had court. They had
some of them had court orders. They had different reasons for why they're still staying in those particular places. But then also, most importantly, we are questioning the way in which the law is applied in this country. We saw the demolitions in Lubigi, and very many people came out to ask, why is the Starbucks head office still there? Because for it, it's actually in the heart of a wetland. But you're demolishing homes of young people, you're demolishing homes of Ugandans that are trying to find a living. So what we expected was a solution. We expected him to talk about it. But when he doesn't come to address such key issues, it leaves questions of whether he's actually aware of what is happening, or actually his silence only goes to prove that he's okay with what is happening. So we find that there is a disconnection between the leaders that are in office and the people that are on ground. And when we expect answers, we do not get any of that.
Nambasa, one of the things that was quite interesting is that this State of the Nation address this year comes just a day after the Matters Day celebrations. And remember, we didn't have national celebrations because of the cancellation, because of the Ebola outbreak. So everyone was seated back waiting. So what next? Maybe an update. But
or
also
maybe
this
just
comes,
a hint about it.
And for someone who has been to a public hospital, someone who has been to Molago, this comes at a time when also there is that talk of normal paying of the intern doctors. So we are having a health crisis, and we are pulling some of our frontline workers, and they're saying we are not paying them. So Nambasa, where does this leave us as a country in matters health?
Well, like I said, I think it's going to have other episodes, because because if we are saying that we are in a crisis right now, we have an Ebola situation, we would have expected him to actually say something about that particular situation. But then it goes a long way to show us where the priorities of this government are. Because when you speak about health, and I want to sympathize with the medical interns, the nurses, the doctors, the pharmacists, they only need 20 billion Uganda shillings for them to be able to work for an entire year. Not a month, but an entire year. But we have seen these monies being invested elsewhere. They are buying new cars. They are, you know, sponsoring.
They're not even investments.
They're not even investments. They're just, they have increased salaries for RDCs, I think, in the next financial year. And someone wonders what services are RDCs offering compared to what medical interns are offering. For the Ugandans that may not know, a medical intern is someone that has finished school, they have graduated, and they are qualified to work. So this is supervised practice, but they are always at the front line of our medical sector. They offer over 70% of the human resource that we have in our hospitals. So to send this particular person to a district that they don't know about, to an area they have never been to work day and night, because these are people that work 48-hour shifts, and you've not given them food, you've not given them accommodation, you've not given them any allowance.
And then here we are
we are having an Ebola crisis. We do not have enough hospitals for starters. Even the doctors, because when you look at the doctor-patient ratio, right now it's about 1 to 25,000.
The gap is huge.
Yes, compared to the recommended 1 to 1,000, you know, patients. So it's, I think for me, and I remember because that only shows you that this is not an area of their priority. This is not for health, it's not something that they're concerned about.
Thank you.
And as I conclude, I heard him say that this is that Sanja for no more sleep. He actually corrected us and said that it is not no sleep, it is not no more sleep. clearly emphasizing that they have been sleeping.
Okay.
But then also he said that for non-performers, they should leave office. And for me, I think I must appreciate him on that, that at least he's aware of what has to be done.
That they are
but he's not self-aware.
And there is corruption. And there you have it.
Thank you so much.
We have Nambasa in studio, and she has clearly highlighted what she expected the State of the Nation address comment or talk about particularly, but she's clearly disappointed in the State of the Nation address.